Hey everybody, excited to be here. Jason, thanks so much for asking me to be a part, to talk about all the changes that are happening for business branding, for personal branding. You know, I like to say a really important message to business is change your framework to change your future. What happens a lot is we get stuck in what's working now and we forget to understand the way things are changing. Sometimes we don't look at the new platforms, the new business environment, our ability to spread our message. You know, I call this the age of influence, where anybody can build a brand, affect change, make a difference 24/7 without ever leaving your bedroom. I mean, imagine that. Now, I'm not advising all you guys to never leave your bedroom. What I'm trying to talk about is the fact that now, around the clock, we have the ability to reach out and connect to people and to talk about what's important to us and, more importantly, what's important to them. So let's think about that. Let's think about what has changed. It used to be, if you were working for a company, you needed to have budget to go to events, to spend time talking to people, to spread your message, especially if you weren't working for a brand and you wanted to do this on your own and you wanted to go out, reach out, talk to people, change the way they're thinking. But today, we have platforms that enable us to all be publishers, to connect with people around the clock. Now, what I like to talk about all the time are relationships. I talk about something called return on relationships, and I say that relationships are the new currency. Now, I know you're all sitting out there and you're thinking, relationships are the new currency. Relationships have always been currency. I mean, we all know that expression. It's not what you know, it's who you know. The difference is that now we can build relationships all the time, from anywhere. I mean, you come out of a meeting, you're walking on the street, you get into a cab, you can be building relationships. You can be connecting with the people that you just left without having to make a phone call, without having to get them to answer a call. You can be sending them a message, you can be posting something about the meeting, you can be using all different types of platforms, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, now Snapchat, to talk about people and share those experiences. And you can be doing it all the time. So, you know, we talk about all these different platforms and what we have on there. Fans, friends, followers. Are they an audience or are they an asset? I like to think of them as an asset. We all use that word audience. I do too. It's part of our vernacular. It's part of the way we speak. But what we need to start doing is thinking about all these people we connect with as an asset. Now, think about it. How many people out there own a home? Probably a good deal of you guys. Or if you don't own a home, you aspire to own a home. What happens when you buy a home? You want to make it better. You want to sell it for more than you bought it for. So what do? You paint it, you improve it, you care for it. This is the way we have to start thinking about our relationships. All the people we connect with. It's not just a click of a button. Now think about this. Facebook has done a remarkable thing. Absolutely remarkable. They've taken ownership of the word friend. As a marketer, I look at them and go, oh my God, what an incredible thing they've done. But as a human being, I say, oh my God, we have to take that word back and give it value again. Think about this. Think about the word friend, close your eyes, and see what comes into your head. I will wager you anything that it's not an image of a friend, but it's a Facebook logo. They've taken that word and made it part of what they do. And they've made us believe that clicking a button means making a friend. But clicking a button does not mean making a friend. If I reach out and I shake your hand, are we friends? No. That's an open door. That's an invitation to build a friendship. And what we have to start doing is what I call looking people in the eye digitally. This is so important to your companies. This is so important to you and your personal brand, because what you're mistaking is relationships by just connecting with somebody. Now, think about this. When I graduated college, and look, I'm an old guy, I'm 58 years old. I graduated college in 1980. And I got a sales job. Now, my dad was in sales, so the first week he calls me up. He goes, do you have your first appointment? I said, yeah. He goes, when is it? I said, Friday. He said, what time? I said, 10 o'clock. He said, what time are you going to get there? I said, I don't know, about 5 to 10. He goes, no, get there at 9 o'clock. Walk around the neighborhood. Get to know what businesses are there. Go into the building. See what else is in that building that they're in. Get into the person's office. See if you can get his or her assistant or secretary to let you in there and see what's on the walls. Are there photos of children? Are there pictures of people playing golf? Are there pictures of fishing? Find out what's important to that person. So when you're talking to them, you can connect with them emotionally about something they're interested in. But today, there's no excuse not to do these things. I mean, then it took a lot of time, it took a lot of effort. Now all you have to do is click to LinkedIn, you have to go to Google, you go to Facebook. There's no excuse to walk into a meeting and not know something about the person you're meeting with. And by the way, you're thinking, well, what is this about personal branding? Now Ted's talking about sales or how to connect with people. But a brand is what a business or a person does. A reputation is what people remember and share. And every action you take, everything you're doing is building your reputation. So think about this. How do we connect with people? You're thinking, let's do it on a mass level. I can put out one post, everybody sees it. But what I'm going to urge you to do is, in conjunction with doing that, to connect with people one by one. And here's the problem. You're thinking, this doesn't scale, but it does. Because what I will tell you is the majority of people do not want to connect with you one-on-one. They're not going to reach out to your brand. They're not going to reach out to you. Look, I do this all the time. I'll do it here. My phone number is 516-270-5511. Feel free to give me a call anytime or text me. Now, I can do that on stages when there's 5,000 to 10,000 people in the audience because nobody calls. Sure, I get a few calls here and there, and that's great because those are the people that make the extra effort to reach out. But what do? I'm building my brand because people are saying, Ted Rubin's giving out his phone number when he's on stage. And inevitably, somebody dials that number when I'm on stage because they want to see if I'm giving out the real number, which I am. Because then people talk about it. And the other thing is when you connect with people, what happens is people see you connect with that person, especially when you do it on social platforms. Or even if you do it via that phone call, I guarantee you that person's going to go online, they're going to go to Twitter, they're going to go to Facebook, they're going to go somewhere else, they're going to say, oh my God, I called Ted Rubin and he answered the phone. Or, oh my God, I called George and he responded. And what does that do? That builds your brand because the majority of people on social media participate in a way that I call participating vicariously. They watch the conversations of others and then they feel a part of it. Think of a cocktail party, a big cocktail party, a few hundred people in a room. Look around that room and you'll see there's pockets of people around the room. And out of all those hundreds of people, there's probably 5 or 6 people that are actually doing most of the talking, and they're surrounded by a group of people. And then usually in that group of people that are surrounding them, there's 1 or 2 that are engaging with them. But what I will tell you, and you think about your own experiences, is that when you walk away from that conversation, when they walk away from that conversation, they will feel a connection. Because social is a facilitator of relationships. But remember, it's not the relationship itself. What you've got to do, you've got to build trust. Trust is how you build your personal brand. Because when you build trust, you build conversation, you build loyalty, and you build people that want to do things for you. How do you build trust? It's based on interaction. Okay? When I just shake your hand, we're not friends because we haven't interacted at all. But when we have a conversation, when you call me sometime, when you email me for some information, when you maybe just as simple as like something or make a comment on my Facebook page, and I write back and appreciate it or check mark it or let somebody else know you did it, that's an interaction. That builds trust. Consistency builds trust. Be consistent. And the best way to be consistent is to be yourself. Now, I know you hear this word a lot, authenticity. And sometimes people feel it's being overused. I don't think it's overused because I think most people are not actually authentic. They either want to be someone else, want to portray something, think they're not good enough so they don't want to necessarily portray who they are. That's got to change because the easiest person to be is you. And that's the easiest way to create consistency. And be true to your word, and like I said earlier, authentic, and most importantly, genuine. Do for others without expectation of anything directly in return. And what I promise you is others will do for you. And start thinking about your reputation, not your ranking. You know all these reports that come out, and this one's ranked here, or in your company you might have ranks. What's more important than where you're ranked is what people say about you, how they feel about you, what they think about you. Think connection, not network. How many people have I actually connected with? I like to say that a network gives you reach, but a community gives you power. Because communities support each other. Networks connect, communities care. So start thinking, how many people can I connect with versus how many people I can network with. Now, networking is a good place to start because that's where you get your universe of people that you can then connect with. And by the way, your network is very valuable because as you connect with people, they're going to let others know you connected. And then more people are going to reach out to you and people are going to talk about that. So start thinking connection and think loyalty, not celebrity. Ladies in the audience, do any of you actually think you'll look like Andy McDowell if you use L'Oreal cosmetics? I doubt it. But you do know you can look like your friend, your neighbor, your business colleague. So you trust what they have to say. And that's where loyalty comes from. So think of these three things: reputation, connection, loyalty. Very, very important. And if you're only focused on the money, you're going to forget about the most important thing: the people. So I like to talk about just being nice. I use a hashtag just be nice. I use the hashtag be good to people. I wear t-shirts that say it. You should see the different way people interact and engage with me when I wear those t-shirts. I wear them whenever I travel. And you know how difficult it can be when you travel, how stressful it can be. Well, flight attendants, gate attendants, they all see my shirt, they look for the smile on my face, and they treat me differently. So start thinking about that. And I also want to talk about something that's really important. You know, a lot of you guys hear this talk about millennials. Millennials this, millennials that. Millennials are changing everything. Millennials are changing nothing. I like to say that boomers were the original millennials because they were the first guys to change laws, to stop a war, for civil rights, for all the things that changed. But what happened was boomers had to go back to work or get a job, and they couldn't continue doing it. But now, in this day and age, we can do so many things at once. You can build your brand, you can march on Washington, you can make change in your community at the same time as you're doing everything else. You can do it during the day, you can do it at night. Don't forget this. Think about young people. The reason things are changing is because technology is changing. The reason we look at millennials and Generation Z and say they're different, they're not different. Genetically, they're the same as us. They're growing up in a different environment. But that environment is seeping up to all of us, and we can all take advantage of that. So I'm telling you, build a brand by talking to people, by writing what you think, but most importantly, by connecting with people and building a reputation for what you stand for. I'm looking forward to seeing some of you guys. You know my phone number now. My email is tedrubin@gmail.com. I'm at tedrubin on Twitter, on Instagram, on Snapchat, and just about everywhere else. Please reach out and engage. I'll look forward to it. Make it a great day, and remember, relationships are like muscle tissue. The more you engage them, the stronger and more valuable they become. Thank you.